Hello everyone, welcome back to Flourish, and this is the part 5 of the catch game. Alright, so what we want to do in this game is quite simple. We want to just clean up our code. We need to, make our ball move so fast, and also we want to, improve on some of our code right here in the Apple section. So let's get right into it. Alright, so let's check out the game first, and then I would explain one or two things that I discovered about the game. So when I click on flag, now I'm catching the game ball. The movement of the arrow is not smooth enough to me. I don't know. It's quite slow. I feel it should. So I need to improve on that. So what I would do, let's check that out first. And I have two apples dropping here. Okay. All right, good. But I need my ball to move a bit faster. Now to achieve that, I am going to give my ball two movements. Now the first one is what we've done right here by saying when right arrow key pressed, and then when left arrow key pressed. So we can also have another option by using the when flag is clicked. So I'm going to go to the event and say when flag is clicked, I want to also control my ball. So I want to have two options. So to do that, I'm going to go to control and I'm putting it a forever loop. So inside the forever loop, I'm going to have a conditional statement. So we're going to have two conditional statements, the first and the second. Now, as you rightly know, that the two conditional statements will be for when left arrow key pressed and then when right arrow key pressed. So let's quickly do that. So I'm going to go to sensing and search for when space key pressed. But I'm going to change this one to, when right arrow press, and then I'm going to do the same for left arrow. And then we're going to add the same code, which is change X by duplicate. Change X by -10, and I'm going to duplicate that again and change X by 10. Alright, now let's check that out and see how our ball moves. Alright, so I click on flag. Yeah, it's faster now. Can you see? Now it's easy for me to move left and right. See, so fast. You see that? So fast now. It feels more like a, yeah, I think I like this right now. So we're giving our user two options, so we can control the ball. Even it's easy for me to achieve my goal right there. Oops. So something like that. So we've done the first part, which is to change the arrows and then to change the movement of the ball. Now let's go to the apple. Excuse me. Now what we want to do in the apple is to introduce a concept called blocks. I will still do a tutorial on blocks, but for the sake of this project, I'm just going to briefly explain what a block is. So a block is like function in a block is like a function in high-level programming language like Python, C# and the likes. So what block will do is that it's going to define the function of It's going to define the function of a new block, and then we'll declare it to perform that function. Yeah, that's what a block is. So a block will define the function, and then we're going to use that block to perform that function. Now let me use that. Let me just break that down for you. Now let me give you an example. Now for this, as you can see right here, we have if touching ball, place down, go to position, set y to 10, change score, change apple score, and then we have the same thing right there. The same thing right there. The same code right there. So starting from here, if touching ball, place down, go to set, and then we have the same thing. So this is where block function comes in. So why not let's take this out. Oops, I took that off, sorry about that. Why not let's take this out and define it with a function. So what I'm saying is, because we are using this function again right here, we can actually define a function and call it if touching ball. Now to define a function, you go to my blocks. Sorry, to define a block, sorry, you go to my blocks and then say make a block. Now that block will now be what? Touching, or you could say if touching ball, and then press enter. Now we want to make our block so simple for now. We don't want it to have a label, we don't want it to have an input or anything, just a simple block. Don't worry, I'll go into block in the next series of video, but for now let's just focus on this. So this is my block, and the name of the block is what? If touching, or let's call it touching ball. That's the name of my block. So I'm going to define the block right now. So this is the block definition. You see, this is what it means by defining the block. You tell what the function of the block is. Now the function of this block would be that I want it to do the same thing. I'm going to put it at the top so I don't mix it up. Yeah, so this is a function. So now the function says what? If touching ball, play sound, go to random position, set y to 180, change the score by 1, change apple cash by 1, and then if score equals to 10 and apple scores to 10. Now this is the block. So how do we use it? After you've actually defined it right there, you can just drag this block right there for use, and then you put it inside where you drag out this or all this block of code. So we're going to put it inside that. So this block would actually represent all of this block right here. Do you understand that concept? Alright, if you do not understand, there's no need for you to go ahead with this. Don't worry, I'm still going to break it down in the next series of video. But for now, maybe you should just leave your code the way it was if you do not understand what blocks are. Okay? But this is exactly what I've done to define it right here and to use it right here. Now the reason why we're defining the block is because it's to clean up our code. Alright, so we can use this same definition whenever we repeat it. So I discovered that we repeated that same function right here. Yeah, this is it. If touching block, let's drag this out and check it. Let's check it out. Let's bring this. Let's be careful. Then drag this out. Yes. So this is the block, and let's take this back into that function that we had. But please do not forget, I hope this is not too messy. Don't forget that we actually took out this block from this, so it's ahead of this. So now let's compare this block with what we defined right there at the top. You have to be careful. I know it's a bit rough, but please be careful. I just want to prove something to you. Now, as you can see, we're using exactly the same thing. So there's no need to repeat. As I remember, dry. Do not repeat yourself. I've done that in a series of videos before in our old videos. So because of this reason, I'm going to take this off and replace it with the function of the science touching ball, or replace it inside that block of code, which is right here. So I'm going to put it on top of that because that was where all this block was. So we're going to put it and attach it to the foreign value. So now we're cleaning up our code. See, our code is becoming lighter, and that is exactly what we want. I just want to teach you how to clean up a code, and majorly that's all. So now what else we can do is to look at whatever we have actually repeated ourselves again, and then do the same thing. Did we repeat ourselves in any? Oops, sorry, I put it in the wrong place. So that is why I say you have to be careful. This is where I'm supposed to put it. the one at the bottom right here. Yeah, it's supposed to be right here. Please be careful. And that is the reason why I do not really advise that you have rough codes. You have to also comment out your code. I would show you how to comment. So now that's it. We've added that function right here. Now I noticed another thing, that we repeated this same block twice. Now let's take it to the top. Now if you can see, we have this block of code repeating itself. If y position is 160, y position is 160. Now we actually did this for each touching ground, right? So falling, yeah. So to do that, each touching ground, I'm going to drag this to the top and define this one also as touching ground. So we're going to define that function again. Just follow my, so this is the block, and then I'm going to define a block again. I'll call that touching ground. Touching ground. And all I do is just to put it at the top. So touching ground will be this code right here. So I'm going to use touching ground. I'm going to use touching ground, and I'm going to add that to, now because we have the same code as that with this, so I'm going to put touching ground inside the forever loop, and then I take off this, and I also want to put touching ground inside that forever loop for. So now I've been able to clean up my code. As you can see, it's quite clean right now. I could actually right click and just say clean up my code, so that I can have a set of new code right here. Alright, so this is exactly what we've done, and then so when I click on my flag again, it should work because I've not actually changed anything. Yeah, my code is better now. I have a free flowing bow, and my code is running perfectly well, and that's exactly what I want. Yes. So when it gets 10, it becomes faster, and then the number of apple increases. Yeah, that's exactly what I want. Yes, 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 yes. Like this, we can complicate the game, but for now, let's just leave it that way, okay? Oops, sorry, I missed that. Yes. Oh no, what did I do? Alright, so something like that. Yeah, really, something like that. Now let's lose this game and see. I want to lose this game to see we're going to see you lose. Let's lose the game. Yeah, exactly. So we've been able to clean up our code. Now there's one more thing I need to add up to this game. Yeah. Alright, it's good for you to comment. So to comment, you just come to this, this is for, so you right click and then say add comment and say, you just type in whatever it is. So this block, so that whenever people do this block, defines touching ball function. Yeah, so majorly that's it. So whoever reads your code will understand watch. So you see this block defines touching ground function. Yeah, so something like that. So you could actually comment this one also by saying when user clicks on the start button, the size of the apple would reduce by 50%, and the y coordinate of the apple the set to 180. Yeah, majorly that's it. Alright, so you go explaining all of this code like that. So when flag is clicked, the size of the apple returns back to normal, and the coordinates of the apple becomes x equals to 200 and y equals to 0, something like that. This is how to comment. I'm not going to comment everything, but that's how to add comments to your code, and then whenever a user comes in to read your code, they will be able to understand everything that you've written. Alright, so I hope this is really nice to you. Like I always say, please, if you do have comments, if you do have suggestion, please use the comment section below, and then don't forget to subscribe and turn on the bell, turn on the notification bell to always get more video. Alright, I'll see you in the next video where I will start a new project. Alright, bye.